Happy first week of Advent, everybody. My name is Pastor Chad Butts. I'm the senior pastor here at Grace Lutheran in Camp Hill. And thank you so much for being with me here on our midweek devotional. Our theme for this week is hope. And when we lit our candle on Sunday, and as I'm going to do right now, we are reminded of this concept of hope. And a lot of what our faith is based around is hope. Without hope, we have very little theology in the Christian world. When I was growing up, my parish back home in Nazareth, when someone would pass away, they would always say these words: "In the sure and certain hope of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, we extend our sincere Christian sympathies." And I always found it funny that we put sure and certain right next to hope. Because when you think of hope, at least for me, I think of something that isn't certain, that isn't sure. You hope for something to happen, right? But you can't promise that something is going to happen. You can't say that it'll actually happen. But when it comes to the resurrection, our hope is sure and certain, because the Messiah, Jesus Christ, actually died on the cross and then 3 days later actually rose from the dead. And when Jesus, who rose from the dead, tells us that we are going to be with him and the other parts of the Godhead and all of our family members and our friends and the rest of humanity in heaven after we die? Well, for someone who rose from the dead, I think I would believe them. And in that sense, we are sure and certain. Our hope is that this is true, because there's no way to know that this is true until we actually die. But because of what Jesus Christ did for us on the cross, and because of the miraculous miracle of the resurrection, we know that when we pass, it is not nothingness, it is not hell, it is heaven. It is a place where we can be, where there is no more crying, where there is no more pain, where people are no longer struggling and every need is met. That is our sure and certain hope. And hope isn't just a religious thing either. According to Dr. Adam Stern from Harvard Medical School, he says that hope is a shield and a path. It helps with our mental health. It helps us get through the struggles of this life. As a Christian, we know where we're going when we die, so we have that hope. But we are still alive today, and there are still real struggles. Many of us are grieving. Many of us are hurting. Many of us, our bodies are not working the way we would like them to. Many of us are seeing loved ones go through things that are horrendous. Many of us are in life circumstances, either economically or relationship-wise, that are not the ideal and that we really wish were not happening. But hope gives us that path forward. Hope gives us the ability to see beyond our current circumstances. And if we can learn to do that and not be dwelling on our struggles right now, but on the hope of a better tomorrow. According to Harvard Medical School, our brains will thrive even though we struggle. And I think that's an important thing that we remember, that hope doesn't remove our suffering. Hope doesn't take everything away. But what it does do is it protects us from being in despair. It gives us a way out, even if that way out still includes suffering and struggle. And it helps us to be grateful, even when it feels like the world is falling apart. I know this sounds like a tall ask, It sounds like something that is easier said than done, and it certainly is. But it is something that will improve our lives. And it is something that God calls us to do. To have sure and certain hope in the resurrection. And to be grateful and to find God even amidst suffering. Life is hard. But we don't need to dwell in that hardness. We don't need to allow despair to take over our souls and our minds. There is a better option. There is hope. And it is my hope that you choose hope over despair and anguish. And know that Jesus is there, holding you, walking with you, experiencing everything you're experiencing, knowing your pain more intimately than you could possibly know. And know that even if you would die, that this world is not the end, and that we do have a sure and certain hope that when we pass away from this life, there will be a better one waiting for us the next. Dr. Stern recommends that we do a gratitude journal to help prepare us for life's challenges and to see goodness even amidst the badness of life. And I think that's a good Advent spiritual journey that we could go on this 2024 Advent season. To be able to be grateful even amidst when things are going wrong. To find joy and comfort and peace even when the ship feels like it's sinking. Again, easier said than done for sure. But if we can learn how to do it, we can learn how to see hope in the struggle, the light, and the darkness. Well, we can enter into a glimpse of what the true kingdom of God is going to be when we enter it, when we pass away. May this Advent journey be a blessing to you. And my gratitude is for you all who are willing to enter into these devotionals with me and who are willing to enter into hope with me. Because life is way too short to dwell on despair and anguish. Let us keep that path of hope. Let's keep looking forward. And let us grasp onto the light of the darkness. God's blessings to all of you.